Well, hello there and welcome back. If you're new to our channel, this is a channel where we talk about Star Wars Legion stuff. We get information, we chat, we hang out. This time we're going to be looking at a second article that Atomic Mass Games has put out. They've now put out two articles. They don't have their webpage up yet, but they're starting to have at least a little splash page for Star Wars Legion. And so now they put up two articles, both about the upcoming new units coming out for Shadow Collective. And so today we got an article about the Pykes, and there's a quote here from there. I have no desire to oppose you. We come to join you. Lom Pyke, Star Wars, The Clone Wars. That's where he was joining Death Watch and Darth Maul to create the Shadow Syndicate. And so we're going to jump right over to that page, and we're going to take a look at that as we go. So I'm just going to read the preamble here. Great models once again. The Pyke Syndicate is known throughout the galaxy for their domination of raw spice trade. Originating in the underworld planet of Oda Daya, the Pykes Syndicate grew in power as they obtained more and more territory. This expansion continued throughout the Clone Wars as they gained control of the mining planet Kessel. Now, we saw that in the Star Wars Solo story, and it was just a horrible place for the people working there. Most slave labor is. The Pykes joined Maul in the Shadow Collective and played a critical role in allowing Death Watch to rise to power during the Civil War of Mandalore. Such rapid expansion requires a muscle, and the Pyke Syndicate foot soldiers are here to ensure that the shipment of spice and the credits they create keep flowing. Join us in this installment of the scenes to the stats as we take a look at the Pyke Syndicate Foot Soldiers, Star Wars Legion. So here's the article, and this is what we're going to take a look at. We got the card here, and then it goes to some more preamble. You can read the rest for yourself, and then they give us some upgrade cards, and then they give us another upgrade card that's there, and then it goes into the last article. So that's the article. I'm going to take a closer look at the cards, and we'll go over that and talk about maybe how we use these Pyke Syndicates, how they fit in. They're a very interesting unit, and they offer a lot to Star Wars Legion. They offer a large amount. Let's go to the cards, okay? So we can look over here, right here. We've got our main card here, and that's our unit card. Now we can see right here, I'm just going to go over that unit card, and we're going to take a quick look at what's on that unit card. And so one of the things notice right off the bat is 40 points, and it is available for every faction. It is core. There's 4 of them that come with it. It has a heavy weapon slot, a personnel slot, a equipment slot, and a grenade slot. Now let's start with some of the words. Danger Sense 2, which is a cool word here. It allows them to roll 2 extra dice if they take suppression. So they can roll. So somebody hits them with 1 dice, they take 2 suppression, and they can roll 3 dice. Now they don't have a way of generating suppression right offhand, but they also don't have a way of keeping themselves on the board if you get too much suppression in the naked unit. So they only have a courage value of 1. So 2 is the place they're running because they can't even use the leaders of the other faction. Now, if they have one of their leaders in there, probably going to be a leader skill of 2. So they're going to be having a little more safety that they can actually not run, and they'll be at 4 before they run, so they can use that danger sense. So the danger sense is a great keyword, but it's going to be dangerous to use here. And so outmaneuver, great word. This makes them great for getting dodges, and later they get dodges, and so they can dodge crits, which is a huge thing for no extra cost. This is 40 points. If they didn't have this keyword, that's another 5 points. So this is a 35-point unit, really. Self-preservation. So they look after themselves. They want to live. They don't take order. So when they're checking courage, they only check from their own units. So if there's a Pyke leader, they'll check on their courage, but if not, they're checking on 1, which 2 they'd be running. Independent dodge. Now this is great because the dodge is going to help you not die. You get that dodge, and then you got outmaneuver, where you can use the dodge token against crits, which is this is a great combo. So basically, you do not want these guys to get an order because you're giving them a dodge that's outmaneuverable. And this is good. So that's a really good thing to have. They also surge to protect. They're a white defense dice, but they surge to protection. So that's not bad. They have a decent opportunity to save. Well, not really, but a 2+ save, 200 save, so a 5-6 save. Yeah. Anyways, 2 dice, 2 sides of the dice they save on, and you, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They have range 2 on movement, which is good. They have black dice for attack at range 1 to 3, which is great. It'd be better if they could have range 4, but they do get cards that help you get that. And melee, they actually throw 2 whites with a stun baton. They don't surge to crit or surge to hit, so those whites are not going to be great to get. You got 2 chances to get a hit on it. You got a hit or crit, but no surge. But later we'll see how that is mitigated a little bit. Now, I think this is a great unit. Now, how would I use these units? I can see them maybe squeezing into a nimble, dodgy type list for rebels. They play a lot like rebel troopers naked, so I don't see them being quite as useful because of that. But they get that free dodge. They really fit in to the Republic Army, though. That's where I would see them being. I think a cheap unit in the Republic might be a handy thing, and they're very cheap and they are a decent unit. So that's where I kind of see them being their real niche. They fit with the Rebels, but I think the real play that I might see them in is in that Republic Army. But who knows? Maybe as you start playing them and trying them in every different army, and I'll try them in every army, they'll be kind of cool. Now, I see them being a cool, obviously, Shadow Collective. They're going to be great in Shadow Collective. But let's take a quick look at these cards. Now, we're going to go work from our left to right. So we're going to go Pyke Syndicate Foot Soldier. He's only 9 points. He gives you Cache Aim, which allows you to put an aim card on him and pull that aim whenever you need it. Now, even if he dies, you can still use that aim. So it's kind of a nice way to get you a aim for free with that extra life and 9 points. I'd like to see that come into play with the Rebel Troopers and stuff, because right now they don't have anything for taking that extra guy other than the extra health. But I don't see him making a lot of play unless you're playing this unit, particularly with the Shadow Collective and a Pyke leader. If you have that, then I see them maybe this coming into play a little bit more. Now, I think this is going to be the one that stuck to it. If you're using this as a mercenary unit, I believe this is going to be the one card you're going to play every time with it. So instead of looking at it as a 40-point unit, you're really looking at it as a 56-point unit. 16 points for this card. He becomes the leader. He gives them a courage increase, so they have now courage 2, which allows them to not have to run until courage 4, gives them a little more maneuverability, but it also, with the independent, it gives them a surge. So now you have the independent that gives a dodge, and you get a surge. So now you can surge your weapons. You can also surge your you already surged defense. So you can surge your attacks, and that gives you a big bonus. Having an actual surge give you an extra hit. So I think there's a value in that for 16 points, and that's only 7 points more than the other one. You're getting a whole level courage, and you're getting an independent surge. So basically, if you're not given the mortars, which you shouldn't be given the mortars, you're going to get a dodge and a surge every turn. So there's some green tokens on there, and I think that also really plays into that whole being able to fit into a unit of GAR, because GAR is really expensive. So have a couple cheap units of them would be nice, just to be able to offset something, even one of these. But the next card is the Electro Whip Soldier. Now, this is actually, if I look at this a little while ago, I maybe wouldn't say this is a great card, but at 10 points, so now we're up to 66 points. You're getting 2 reds in range 1 and close range. You're getting Immobilize 1, and you're getting Suppression. Suppression's always good to be able to dish out, but the Immobilize has gotten so good recently. Like it slowing down those troopers, maybe wrecking somebody's speed turn, all these different things that you can use. And having Mobilize in your unit and having it this cheap can be a bonus for any faction. And so this is a card that might make it really, really useful. And I really think they're looking at this whole connecting with the meta and stuff. This is actually a really good upgrade for 10 points. Now for 24 points, this card I think is a little overpriced. And I like the fact that it's got 3 dice. It's giving you an extra 3 dice, so you're going to be throwing 5, 6, 7 blacks and a red, which is great. You can get up to range 4, which is nice too. But in range 3, you're going to be running 7 blacks and a red. But the reality is, the problem here is only impact 1. Yeah, we need more impact, I think, but this can't be much more. Like it's not broken. It's just that maybe it's a little expensive for where it's at, but I don't know. 24 points isn't a lot of points. But if I'm looking at the 2 cards, I'm picking the whip over that most times. Now, unless I want him to be shooting at range, but I don't know if that's the unit I want to be sitting out there shooting at range. They don't have what it takes in my mind to be effective long range shooting thing. But that's just my opinion, and I haven't played with it. So I would probably be seeing, if I'm using it, say in my Rebels, with Electro Whip and the Pyke Syndicate Capo, for bringing the points to a whopping 66 points, which is great for what you're getting. In like close range, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 units at 2 white. So that's 10 white, 2 reds. So like if you're engaged and you're in melee, that's 10 white, 2 reds. They don't have great health, but they're getting a dodge too, right? So they got sustainability. They got surge to defense. I think these guys would at least be able to punch a wielder, and immobilize them. And I would use these guys against force users and Magna Guards, stuff like that. I think that's where they fit. They can be a kind of a cheap, slow down those heavy, hard-hitting melee units. And that's where I think this unit really fits. And I think they can fit into a lot of factions. I see it's really playing strong in, again, Gar and maybe even Rebel. Once we get it out, we might think, oh, this is awesome, fit in everything. Lastly, we got a new upgrade card, and we've heard this cash word, and this is cash dodge. They already have that, so it doesn't really fit with this unit. It's not something we're going to see put on this unit, but the reality is it fits in a lot of other situations. And sometimes I have a equipment spot, and I'm like, what do I want to do with this equipment spot? And so this just gives us another option to have a dodge that when we're really in trouble on some of those things. Now, if you take a unit and you have double equipment spots, like for example, like if you take the stormtroopers and you take the rocket launcher, and then you take the captain, the guy who gives them a name, a specialist, that's what it is, the specialist, and you throw this on as the second equipment with the scopes, that gives you that dodge when you need it. You're not going to need it very often, but something gets in range, you want to keep them alive, save that rocket or save that specialist. I could see that being used. And you got that second equipment spot, right? So this is a very situational card, but I think it'll see that happen. And as again, I see Cache dodge 1. That just tells me that there's numbers. There's going to be a Cache dodge 2, 3, whatever. Probably 2. I don't see much more than 2 ever. But maybe it's a vehicle thing, like you got like a weapons thing in a vehicle. Maybe the AA5 van, which is coming out for this faction, the lad, or that's just kind of a cool thing if it can go into one of those upgrade slots that are available in those other vehicles, and then you can use those heavy vehicles to kind of support your core troopers or your troopers around it. So that would be kind of an interesting thing, but who knows what they're going to do. But the reality is, I like what I'm seeing here, and it's getting me excited about different way of playing Legion. Not like the game; it's still going to be played the same, but giving us a lot more ways to develop. You're not going to see every list becoming the same. And to be honest, right now, you look at the big tournaments right now, and it's not just the same list, which is great. For once, you can't see everybody running the exact same thing. There's certain things that pop up a lot. I'm seeing a bigger variety of what's being played and what people are being competitive with. And so, again, I really think that this is probably a good unit. I've already ordered 2 box sets, so I'm excited to get them and start painting them. And for nothing else, anything else, and we just look at these cards, and we look at the things, and we take a look at what we have here. And then let's go back to that article for a second. Look at these models. For nothing else, if I just get to paint these models, they'll make my board look awesome. And I'm not going to be able to paint like these guys. But here's the thing. They look cool. They're maybe not as recognizable as like Luke and Vader and the Stormtroopers for the average person walking by, but they look really, really cool, and I can't wait to get my hands on them and paint them and put them on the field. And so, well, if you made it this far, I'm rambling now, so why don't you give me a like, subscribe, comment. I love to read your comments.